Hello, excited to welcome you to our very first webinar. Please go ahead and type in the chat box where you're from so we know who's in the audience today. And if you could use that chat or comment box to ask any questions if you have any throughout the webinar, and we'll get to those at the end. Or if it's a really good one or just really relevant to the conversation, we can also answer it there. All right, let's go ahead and see who is in the audience and in attendance today. If anyone wants to type in the chat, totally up to you so that we can get to know you. Oh, we got Martha from Texas. Woo! Got another one from Austin, Texas. Okay.
Oh, wow.
California, Steve Gomez. I remember I was on a call with you. Hello. Kendall from Missouri. Shout out to Missouri. Wow, so we have people from all different coasts here. Brooke Simmons. Oh, wait, sorry. Laura from Colorado. Oh, beautiful there right now this time of year. Brooke Simmons also from Colorado. Okay, so you guys can connect. Oh, wow, a lot. Okay, let's see. Jose Cinco. Oh, just talked to you yesterday. More Oklahoma. What? That's amazing. Diana Lesko. From Hungary. Yes, all parts of the world.
That is amazing.
California checking in. Awesome. We got Indiana, Brad, Scott, Johnson from Indianapolis. Lots of people tuning in. Thank you so much from coast to coast. We have creators, from in the States as well as, shout out to Hungary. So wherever you are in the world, welcome. All right, so we aren't going to wait too long until we get started because I do want to respect your time. So let me just introduce myself really quick to start things off. I'm Elaine Rao. You're a creator manager here at RockPorch. I was a full-time content creator for 7 years and recently transitioned to now coaching and mentoring you guys, current content creators on our platform. So I'm here to help you with anything regarding your content strategy, linking methods, marketing channels, how you may, how things may in your brand may flow together. Everything from strategies on how to get more clicks to your Instagram stories, how to structure your blog post for SEO to get more traffic, what to send people in their newsletters to increase sales and engagement, how to write your YouTube descriptions, and what specific words to use to link in your bio to, entice the click, and just like everything in between. I'm here as a resource. If you have any questions around social media, marketing, branding, RockPorch, I'm here for you. Now, speaking of resources, we have another person on the line today, which is, so resources in general, right? The creators in our network have a ton of knowledge that they're willing to share. And today I get to interview one of our amazing RockPorch creators, Brittney Jill, that has been with us from the start and has been killing it on our platform ever since she joined 2 years ago. So little background right quick, as we're a startup. We've only been around for like 3 years. So Brittney is an OG RockPorch creator. And it's going to be so exciting to see RockPorch through the lens of her as a creator that has seen us at different paths of our growth, as well as for her to showcase what she's learned throughout the way in terms of like what works, what doesn't. And we'll start with the initial questions around the platform and how Brittney has used RockPorch to generate close to $300,000 for the brands that she's represented. And then we'll dive into her very specific content strategies in terms of what she recommends on social media as a top performing RockPorch content creator. Well, let me just say Brittney is a total badass that pulls catfish out of the deep water. She loves to hunt, fish, travel, has her own social media marketing agency that she runs after work. And then she goes home to her 2 boys, ages 2 and 3 months old. Another really fun fact about Brittney is that she has a very unique crocodile table that I am planning to steal from her one day that her husband made. And I believe, do you have a photo of it that you can show us?
So the actual table I don't have a picture of, but I have a picture of this is actually my mount, which is on a table, which ends up being a lamp. But my husband has a full body gator table, which is super cool, which I wish I had a picture of, and I thought I did, but apparently I do not.
Yeah, no, love that. Love that you are, you represent everything, hunting, fishing, you're like love it. So we want to know what led you to want to become a creator in the first place.
So I never necessarily wanted to be a creator or thought of becoming a creator. I just loved sharing about the products that I believed in, that I used, that worked well for me. From, I mean, the guns that I use, the camouflage I wear. I mean, a lot of women, especially in the hunting and fishing niche, you can say, it's hard to find good quality products that, for example, like the camouflage, that fit our body because we're women. We're made differently than men, and for so long we were wearing men's camouflage. I started working with a women's camouflage company for women, made by women, and to promote what I'm wearing is so easy because it's stuff that I genuinely love. So I never necessarily wanted to be a creator, but it just kind of came as my social media platform grew, I guess.
That's amazing. So, how did you find out about RockPorch and how long have you been using it?
So I actually scrolled back in my Instagram DMs to July of 2022. I got a message from RockPorch and they're like, "Hey, yeah, you should join." And I was like, "I don't understand what this is. I don't really know this kind of." At first I was like, "This kind of seems a little sketch," because I didn't really understand it. And then I got an email and then I had jumped on a call actually with somebody kind of like yourself, but it was somebody else back then. And he kind of explained what it was. And I was like, wow, this is actually super cool that I can get paid for something that I'm already doing. People are already asking me for links to products. People are already asking me what gear I'm using, what gear I'm wearing, what products I'm using while I'm hunting and fishing. I might as well make some money while I'm doing this anyway. I'm creating content anyway. Might as well kill two birds with one stone and try to make a little money while doing it.
Yeah, very very fitting analogy for your space that you're in. So now, if someone were to ask you what RockPorch is and how they can use it, how would you describe it to them? That's in a like not confusing way.
So Rock Porch, kind of like what I said earlier, is a way for you to be able to share the products that you use, the things that you're already using, and you can make a small commission on it. Or if you like particular brands, I mean, we work with so many different brands that Shields, for example, if Shields is posting that they're having a sale, if you love Shields, if you have a Shields by you and you're like, this is where I shop all the time, you could share, hey, you know what? They're having a hunting and fishing deal, 50% off everything. You can share the entire thing. It's it's just a easy way, I guess, to make money on what you're already creating content for anyway.
Okay, so I'm assuming that one of your favorite brands to share on RockPorch would probably be Shields. Is there and are there other brands that you love in addition to that?
Yeah, so Shields is basically like my go-to. It's when I buy my products for hunting and fishing, normally it's Shields, but I mean, we also on the app, we have Bass Pro, Cabela's, Academy, but I'm also a mom of two. So I do a lot of shopping at Target, and Target is another one of the brands that we have. And that's another reason why I love RockPorch. It's not necessarily just the hunting and fishing brands. We have Target, we have Gap, we have, I mean, I don't know, Callaway. If you golf, there's so many brands. If you are a mom and that's your life, we have brands for you. I mean, it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to be a hunter or fisher or a person who likes to go skiing. We have brands for physically everybody.
Yeah, and I see in the comments as well, someone shouted out, "We have Kohl's."
There's so many brands. It's amazing. And we're constantly getting more and more, which is even cooler. Just scrolling every week to see what the new brands are. I love to see it.
Okay, so how does RockPorch differ from like other platforms that you might use, like Awin, CJ, AvantLink, Rakuten, Partners, Impact? How does our platform look a little bit different than theirs?
The best thing that I can tell you is that once you apply to be a RockPorch creator, you have access to over the 600 brands. You don't need to apply to be like an affiliate with Kohl's. You don't have to apply to be with Shields. You don't have to apply to be with Pit Vipers. You get access to all of the brands, which is huge. So if I'm posting about, I don't know, something that my son's wearing on my personal page, which is my hunting and fishing page, but if it's something at Target, I could share about Target there. I can share about whatever I want, any of the brands. I don't need to apply to be with a particular brand, which is a huge time saver too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I want to pivot a little bit in terms of like, let's talk about how long did it actually take you to start seeing results and commissions using RockPorch? What were the steps that you took?
So it took me about 3 months to actually start posting about RockPorch because I was a little nervous. I was a little intimidated and just timid because I didn't want to come off as salesy. And that's what I was afraid of. And I never really done anything like this before, at least try to like make sales on products. So I didn't really know how to go about it, but I created a few lockers and I didn't really post about them. I just kind of felt out the platform. And once I finally like dug deep into what I could do is when I started to thrive, I guess you could say, because it took me about 3 months to dive into the platform, which now we have so many different helpful tips and people to help with the platform, which has been amazing to see in the past year and a half. But then once I kind of dug into it, I realized that sharing about my products that I use, but then also what I learned is I would make a post on my actual Instagram feed or my Facebook feed of whatever. I'm wearing my camouflage with my bow. I have to make that post for the camouflage company that I'm working with anyways, GSG, a little shout out there. But so I have to make a post for them anyway. But then when I have people reaching out like, hey, what jacket is that? I can share in my story and say, link to jacket. Instead of having 8 different people sending me messages like, hey, what's that jacket? Or hey, what are these pants? I can just link it right there. Another thing, one of my best sales that I did was for a trail camera. So I had pictures from this trail camera and it was a huge sale going on. The cheapest that I'd ever seen this trail camera was $25. And so what I did was I shared a picture in my story and I said, cheap trail camera, cheapest that I've ever seen. But then now on Instagram, you can have your little like away message, I call it. So in that, I said, huge trail camera sale in my story. So then it got people into my story who might not necessarily see my story all the time. So I got people there. But then I also shared it I created a Facebook group where I have my hunting and fishing deals as well. So I started that about 3 months ago and I have over 1,000 people in it because I realized that people like to see when there's things on sale. If they're a part of that community, people want to see if there's sales going on. And I also am going into Shields or Bass Pro and Cabela's and seeing what the deals are. But if you are a creator, you might already know this. On the brand partners, right next to it, it says brand deals or current deals, it says. Click that, you can see all of the deals that are going on with our partners, which with the brand partners, which is also huge. So you don't even need to take the time to like physically go into the website and see what's going on. RockPorch makes it easy for you there too.
Okay, so I want to actually pull a question that we have from Brooke Simmons relating to like lockers, right? So do you think having less lockers or products is a good strategy? Or yeah, if you could look into this question.
So I think it kind of depends. So I've played around with a few different things. So I back on like Black Friday made a Black Friday locker because I wanted to share just all the best deals that I found. And then I could share that on my social media and say, here's the link to the actual sales. I also like the Instagram post lockers or like the where you can have your like a post that you get from Instagram. Oh, I can't talk today. And you put it into your locker and then you can put what products you're using. I feel like that's helpful too when somebody's like, hey, what are you using for this day or for your hunting? Then you can send them here's the products that I've used from this post. Or you can do, I have a locker where it's like mom stuff because when I'm shopping at Target, I actually have, side note, I also have a separate Instagram for my mom stuff because there's so many people who I've learned in that niche that I've been sharing my struggles and things that have helped me from my first to my second of different products that have helped me. So I made a whole separate locker with that too. And that's again the great thing about RockPorch is that you can have lockers for like different niches if you want. You can have lockers for different occasions. You can have, hey, here's my springtime clothing that I like to wear. Here's my summer clothing that I like to wear. You can split it up that way. You can get as big or as small of the amount of lockers that you want to have. But what's cool too is that you can share one particular locker, or if somebody's within the app, they can look at all of your lockers. So I guess it all kind of depends with what you want. I don't think there's necessarily better for there to be less lockers or more, but just how you use them, I guess, and how you want to share them. Whether you want to share, okay, here's all my lockers, which might be a little overwhelming to somebody who doesn't understand the RockPorch app. But if you say, here's my locker for my turkey hunting, which is coming up for me as a hunter, here's all the gear that I'm gonna be using for turkey hunting. But then if somebody goes to all my lockers where it's like deer hunting, mom stuff, this, that, the other, they might be like, okay, what is going on here? So mine might be a little confusing, but if that answers your question.
Yeah. Oh, great question, Brooke. Thank you for asking it. I'm going to hide it real quick right now. Once again, feel free to continue asking questions in the chat. If it's relevant, we will pop it up and go from there. But I want to know, what are your highest converting products and or brands that you've worked with until like for the past 2 years?
So my highest converting product probably was that trail camera that I was talking about, because it was such a good sale. And I think I sold, actually there was twice that it went on sale. I think the first time I sold like 62 of them. And then the second time I think I sold like 84. It was crazy. But it also was because it was such a good sale that I had people buying 10 of them. I had people buying 20 of them. It was so worth it to the consumer that's why I wouldn't push so much about a trail camera that's like full price unless I'm doing like a specific product video for that company. And then I could say, here's where you can buy. And then I can really push it that way. But if I'm just posting a trail camera picture on my social media, and sure, I might share it in the story, like here it is. But with that one, I like full on was like, I'm going to try to make as many sales as I can. That's why I put it even in like my away message. I made a story post. I think I made 2 or 3 different story posts, but just trying to find an issue, which is, I guess, trail cameras can be expensive. And then solving that issue by giving them, here is a good quality trail camera. Here's a picture that came from said trail camera. And here's a solution. It's on sale for this price.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So obviously you talked a little bit about tactics already, but what would you say in terms of just general tactics that you've used that you've seen the most conversions from? Is it posting a product that is on sale to your stories, or is it posting a product that's full of gear to your reels? Like, what have you seen that works, and or is it like all of the above, or like a combination of everything?
So with Instagram, obviously you have to post the link in your story or for your link in your bio, because you can't share a link on your actual post on Instagram, which makes it difficult. So for Instagram, it's sharing it into your story. Actually, I see a comment that, yeah, so First Light just had a huge sale at Shields. And I don't personally use First Light because it's a lot of men's camouflage, but I could share about it because it's men's camouflage. I represent a female camouflage company. So that's where I was like, I can share about this deal. It was a huge sale. And I've never seen the First Light, which is for those of you who don't know, First Light is a camouflage company. But I shared about it because it was a huge sale. I don't necessarily have these products. I've never necessarily worn them, but I know it's good quality and it was on sale. I think last week I sold $3,000 in just from that sale. The week before, I think I sold, I don't know, like 5,000, like just by sharing about these sales that I don't necessarily even have the products for. But since it was such a good sale, I shared it. And I shared that in my Instagram story. I didn't make a post about it, obviously, because I didn't have the products, but I shared it in my Facebook group. I shared it on my personal Facebook page because I know I have friends and family who like to hunt, who might not necessarily follow me on all social media, or they might not even have a Facebook page. But by sharing that on my actual personal page too, and I have so many women who I'm friends with on Facebook who want to get their husband something for Father's Day or for their birthday coming up. And I'm like, here's a great opportunity. Another great way, sorry, is that what, did I answer your question?
Yeah. I have a segue question. So how often should you be posting affiliate links? Like what is a good cadence, like on a daily, on a weekly, on a channel basis?
I feel like it all depends. I don't want to say post every day, because I feel like if you're just sitting there posting affiliate links every day, people are going to get annoyed with that. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of whatever you feel like is good with your community, because I'll randomly post it. I don't want to say that, because there's some weeks where I'll post 4 stories of sales on my Instagram story in a day. There's some, like with this first light sale, I think I posted 4 times one day, probably 3 times another. I mean, I'll also share it on my Twitter. So I also use Twitter for the younger generation. It's now called X, if you don't know. I feel like a lot of younger people don't use Twitter, but I'll also share it on my Twitter. And it all kind of varies. On my Twitter for that sale, I think I posted about it like 3 different times. On my Facebook personal page, I think I shared about it once, because I'm like, you know what? My friends and family are going to see. I don't need to keep throwing it at them. On my Facebook group that I have with my sales, I think I posted about it probably 4 or 5 different times, just because I'm like, if somebody doesn't see it, or if they forgot about it and want to come back to it. And since the people who are in that group, they're in it because they want to see the sales. So it all kind of varies. On my Instagram story, I mean, like I said, maybe once a week. I think I posted about it 3 different times. It's been going on for, I don't know, probably 2.5 weeks now. But come hunting season, that'll change. So once I'm actually out turkey hunting, I'll be taking a picture of my boots and being like, hey, here's a link to these boots. This is why these boots are great. So it all kind of varies. I mean, during the off season of hunting season, I don't necessarily post as much unless, like I said, there's a big sale going on. And
Okay.
posting about the sale made me commission. So I don't want to say there's a certain number.
Are there any strategies that you've tried that have not worked?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's times where I even post about a sale and I don't make any sales. And it just, if the sale is good enough, people will buy it. But then that's where I kind of was like, okay, like for example, I shared about a buddy heater, which is, if you don't know, it's just like a little heater that you can take when you're ice fishing or something. And I shared about that, and it was only like, I don't know, $15 off. And I'm like, that's probably not a big enough sale for somebody to necessarily go, versus like this first light sale, which was 40% off, and camouflage normally isn't on sale. So if it's something that I've learned, if there's something that's on sale a lot of the times, it likely isn't going to get as much of a click unless as much as something that's kind of like, again, that example, the first light sale, which was a huge sale, or this trail camera that I was talking about earlier. Like if it's something that isn't necessarily always on sale and goes on sale, that's when I'd post about it.
Okay. So we have another question in the audience. Let's from Rachel. Do you see a higher conversion on different price points versus others, like more sales on lower price point products?
Yes and no. So with the higher price point stuff, so the camouflage, I keep going back to that first light sale. That's decently expensive camouflage. So for a jacket, it's like $300. So that's going to be way more expensive than the trail camera that was on sale for $25. I definitely saw more quantity of the trail cameras, of people buying from the trail camera, but then also with the first light, I mean, I had one sale that somebody bought over $1,000 worth of camouflage, which ended up being like 2 jackets, 2 pairs of pants, and it ended up being like that's more commission than the amount of trail cameras. But it all kind of varies. I mean, but if you post about, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. A fishing lure. I have a creator who he's a big fisherman, and he's been sharing about his fishing lures that are working with that he's catching big bass on, and he is making a killing. We also have another creator who is in like the tactical world, who shared about a magazine, which is a little product that you can put into your gun for people who don't or know guns very much. And he's making a killing on that. So I feel like it all kind of depends on your followers and your following. I mean, sometimes the smaller the cheaper products end up making more sales. And another great thing about it is if you're sharing about a fishing lure, which is $3 that's on sale, and somebody goes in and buys that fishing lure, but then they keep shopping and buy a fishing pole and a tent because they're going camping and something else, you get commission on all of that. You don't necessarily just get commission on what you share. So that might be a good strategy too, is sharing about something that's cheaper to get somebody to the brand. And then once they're there, as they keep shopping, you get commission on all of it.
Okay, you know what? We have so many great questions. I'm just gonna keep on pulling them up because instead of asking my own. So,
No, that's perfect.
what's your number one platform for affiliate marketing? I seem to gravitate to YouTube, but I want to have an open mind.
YouTube is something that I wish I would have taken advantage of years ago. And so YouTube, I definitely see people killing it on, because in the description, you can put links to all your products. So I personally don't have YouTube or a YouTube following that I have taken advantage of. But Twitter, surprisingly enough, I feel like I get quite a few sales on Twitter because I can share the link to it. Instagram is obviously another good one, but what's hard with Instagram is that they have to go to your story. So you not necessarily have to get somebody to your page to follow you, but then they also have to go to your story. But on the flip side is, as people start to get to know you and start trusting you and start getting to know you as a person, that's when they're going to start following you and seeing in your, like, following your story to kind of get to know you and seeing your day-to-day life. And that's where you can start really sharing your links. There is when the people start to really get to know you and trust you. And then Facebook is really great too, just because you can share to your friends and family. So what I've done personally too is I'm like, hey, I can make a small commission if you shop at Scheels, if you shop at Gap, if you shop at Kohl's. I can make a small commission. So if you're going to be shopping at any of these places, if you could please reach out. I had a guy that I went to college with who I haven't talked to in over 10 years, reach out, and he's like, hey, I'm going to be buying golf clubs from Scheels. Like, what's your link? I saw that you could make commission. I'd love to support you. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I appreciate that. Just if you're just being upfront and honest with people too, they want to help support you, especially if they know you're a creator and this is what you're getting paid to do.
Mm-hmm. So, with that
Sorry.
being said, so you're talking about, creating content and, all that good stuff, but are there specific or favorite places that you find inspiration for content, like creator specific resources, news, updates, all that different stuff to make it sound and look authentic?
My biggest thing is just being yourself. So I don't really necessarily get inspiration from other people because I don't want to copy them, I guess. But there's times where I see like trends on TikTok, and I'm like, well, that'd be cool. So there was one where it was music and then you snap and then it, like, you change into different like clothes. And so I did that and I was like, this is kind of a cool way to show again, I'm going back to my camouflage. So going back to like sharing my camouflage. So, and then that way I could share that then to my story and say, here is my locker, which will take you directly to where you can find all of my camouflage. But if I'm out, there's been times I've been out sitting in my tree stand and I prop my feet up because I like to get comfortable when I'm hunting. So I'll prop my feet up and take a picture and show, like, I don't know, my pants and my boots and like the scenery that I'm looking at. And then if somebody's like, hey, what's the link to your boots? Then I'm like, the next slide over, I'll share their message and then I can actually just add the link there. That way, that also kind of shows that, okay, I'm not necessarily just posting my link just to post it. Like, if somebody's genuinely asking, then I can share it that way. That way people can see, okay, she's not just posting her link to post her link, which I definitely do too. But
so when you're posting links, how do you generally disclose your affiliate links? And is it different on Instagram versus Facebook or other channels that you post on?
So on Instagram, you can share or you can change like what the link says. So I'll sometimes say like shop boots or shop here. For like Instagram or Facebook and Twitter, and if I had YouTube, I would straight up say, hey, I can make a small commission here. Like, if you shop this link here, I've learned the more upfront and honest you can be with people that you can make a small commission on it, the more likely somebody's going to order from you, because more times than not, if somebody shares a link, they're making a commission on it. So the more upfront and honest that, at least for what's worked for me, is when I'm like, yep, I can make a small commission. And the more people see that I can make a small commission on different brands, the more people have been reaching out to say, hey, I'm going to be making a sale or I'm going to be shopping at Bass Pro. Like, what's your link? And I can send them my link. And without me even having to do anything on a random Tuesday, I'll get a message like, hey, I'm going to be shopping here. Like, can I have your link because I want to support you? And I'm like, thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so it is 11:30, so we are going to open the floor up to questions so that we can, I know that we've kind of already did that, but now just load Brittney up with all your questions that you have.
I'm here
All
for it.
right, amazing. We have one. Do you do anything outside of being a creator? You might have already answered this.
So I actually have a social media marketing agency that I started we'll say last January. So I do that, and then I'm a creator. So being a creator is not my full-time job, but I do love getting the benefits of being a part of RockPorch and making money through sharing the products that I'm already having to share about anyway. So I work with, like I said, my camouflage company. I have to make X amount of posts per month during hunting season and whatnot. So if I'm having to make a post about it, I might as well make some money off of it while I'm doing it.
Okay, awesome. Good question. Sarah, thoughts on threads? I don't have
Absolutely. You know what? What I've learned is wherever you can post stuff, do it. If you have the time to post on threads, and actually I need to get better on threads because actually I was on there the other day and I saw a girl, she posted and said that she gets more views on threads than she does on her personal Instagram. And actually on threads, you can actually share the links. So I'm going to start playing around with threads. So thank you for that.
Okay, I'm going to go up to a question that was asked earlier that from Steve. Looking for a way to bulk post on my 60 plus hunting pages. Any new ideas?
I would start sharing the sales. So as you can, kind of like what I said before, you can go into the RockPorch app and go to current deals and you can see all the deals going on. Actually, I looked today, I saw Cabela's at Bass Pro is having something. So what you could do is just write up your little thing. Hey, Bass Pro and Cabela's are having a sale. Here's the link to, we'll just do one of them because you can, well, I guess on Facebook you could do both, but copy and paste and share it to all your different pages because the more eyeballs that you get on the different stuff, the better. And what's great is that you can share the entire link to the store. So it doesn't have to necessarily even be a product. And anything that anybody buys from that store, you make a commission on.
Yes, amazing. Another question from Rachel. Do you use social media marketing software? If so, which one?
I actually don't. I used to when I worked with different brands, and now I just use the organic platforms that they have. I mean, so you can schedule on you can literally schedule on every single platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you can schedule on LinkedIn too. But yeah, I just use the organic platform. I've noticed myself that posting organically in the actual platform does better than posting through a third party platform.
Interesting. For a couple recommendations that what I've used in the past is called Smarter Q, Rachel. And it's like a thing that it's like a recurring, like it helps you be able to put your stuff in there and then it kind of regurgitates your content a little bit. And that's what I use that for. But there's so many out there just depending on what platforms you want to post to. And if you have more questions, yeah, I can send you more recs. All right, Brad, tips for introverts trying to get over nerves.
I was a little nervous for this. Elaine, were you?
No.
No, the biggest thing is what's so great about social media is that you can use your phone, you can put it up and you can record yourself and rewatch it. And if you're like, I don't like that, delete it. The biggest tip I can give you is just start filming. And what's really embarrassing kind of for me is that TikTok is my biggest platform. I have 165,000 followers on TikTok, and that's where I post my most out there content. Like stuff that I'm like, I don't even want my friends and family to see on my personal Facebook page, but I think it's okay to post on my TikToks. I'm like, my friends and family aren't going to see this here, which they probably are. But the biggest thing is just start doing it. Or if you are like, I don't want to get in front of the camera, what you can do is just share, like I said, go to the RockPorch app, search the deals. You can just screenshot the deals and share it to your social media and say, hey, Cabela's is having a big sale. Here's the link where you can shop. So you don't even necessarily have to be in front of the camera if you want to just take advantage of the deals that are going on.
Yeah. And I would say, honestly, practice makes perfect. I mean, it literally took me, I would say, a year and a half, maybe 2 years to get comfortable filming myself in my own room, like, and I have Samsung. And so basically there's a pause button on the Samsung video. So I would record myself and I would pause. I would take a breath, drink some water, and then go again. Because I feel like sometimes when they're like the camera's rolling, I get nervous. And so whatever, realize what it is that like is making you nervous, whether that's like, wasted time or, things that you have to go back and edit. And for me, it was, I didn't want to edit my own videos. And so that I outsourced that. So find what it is that you are, nervous about, and then outsource. All right, let's see. Oh, so many questions. All right. Question, aside from promos page, is there another data that creator can use from their RockPorch dashboard to help optimize their affiliate strategies?
Great question. So what you can do is actually, this is one of my favorite things now. So when you make a sale, you can go into your analytics and you can go into commission. And then there's going to be like a little V drop down thing where you can click that and see what you made your commission on. That wasn't a thing back in a few months ago. So that's super helpful if you can go back and look and see, wow, I sold 4 of these fishing lures today. And then the next day you sold the same 4. Maybe, okay, I'm going to make another post about it because they're doing well. So that's a really, really good thing that I've found in the past. Well, since it's came out a few months ago. That's one of my favorite things.
Thank you. Here's another one. When you schedule a strategy call through the platform, what do those look like? Ew.
Elaine, that's a good question for you.
Yes. So it looks like this, where you basically, it's how you want it to look like. I will have a script in terms of like what I would like to go through just in general. But if there's specific things that you want to work on, such as specific platform, specific, like a channel, marketing stream, whatever it is, that's up to you. That being said, I'm starting to record a lot of the strategies so that I can send out, and so you can watch it on your own time. But for strategy calls, those are really kind of up to you and how you want to structure them. Let's see another question. Currently in marketing degree, my goal is to work in the outdoor industry. Do you have any tips on how to get your foot in the door in that industry?
This is what I did. This was back in the day though. So I called about 100 different brands and I tried to talk to their marketing department to like get to start working with them. And I got turned down by all of them. So if you're looking for like marketing, but to work with them for as in like a brand partnership, my biggest tip is to start using their products. So I've worked with over 50 different brands in the hunting industry, and the amount of people who would reach out and say, hey, we want to be on pro staff. Hey, we want this or that. The number is just insane. So the biggest thing is if somebody was physically using the products and tagging the products, I was more apt to be like, yes, we want to work with you. And tag the actual like picture. Don't just tag them in the caption, because if you do that, they're going to get lost in the notifications of like comments and follows and things. So tag the actual product. But this is another way where you can use RockPorch. So say you're talking about, again, camouflage. So say you're wearing a jacket that you bought from whatever store and you post it in your story and you tag the company that this is the company that you're wearing, but then also you share a link. What you can do is use your analytics from RockPorch to reach out to them and say, hey, I've sold 18 of these jackets. I would love to work with you. If somebody came to me as a brand when I did their social media and showed me that they actually made sales for me, I'd be bringing them on the team. So I think that's a huge way to use RockPorch, but also try to work with different brands.
Nice. All right. See another question. Tori, do you recommend marketing affiliate links as no follow or sponsored for a blog? I've seen conflicting info.
So I don't personally have a blog, so I'm probably not the person for this. Elaine, do you have an answer for this?
Yes. So if you are, okay, let's no follow. If it is a sponsored post, you're required by, the company to do sponsored. No follow is basically just in terms of SEO linking. It doesn't affect, so how it affects the brand that you're linking to is that it doesn't give them the SEO juice. If you want to get noticed by the brand, I would recommend doing not no follow, because you're giving them, I guess you're writing about them, and then it's not sponsored, and then you're also giving them SEO juice. It's good. So like to, like, so I would recommend it, unless it is a sponsored post, then you must write sponsored. But if you're organically talking about it, then there's no need to do no follow. Oh, this is not a question, but thank you, Sarah. I did also want to highlight another, William also had this really cute quote that he said, punch fear in the face, press record. And then I also wanted to highlight another compliment that I saw for Brittney. Oh, where was it? Steve, thank you. She's like, I'm going to need to collaborate with Brittney. So thanks for sharing your Instagram insight. All right. Any other questions that we can answer for you guys? We have about a couple minutes left. So feel free to have them rolling in. But if not,
but yeah, the biggest thing I want to just say is when it comes to creating content, whether you're physically in it or if you're just taking a picture, like I said, of your boots, it doesn't have to be perfect. So many people are like, get so nervous about posting that it's not going to be perfect. And people on social media don't want perfect anymore. That used to be a thing in the past where it was like the lighting was perfect and heck, this microphone isn't even plugged in. It's just for looks. So social media doesn't have to be perfect. So if you're nervous about creating the content or what people are going to think or what people are going to say, if people are going to say mean things about it, you can just block them. You know what? Seriously. I mean, it's so there's so many people who are going to say things and all you have to do is block them.
All right. That's going to be the quotable. William, another one. How do you deal with suppression on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube? I'm assuming you're talking about the algorithm.
Yeah. So I know definitely in the outdoor space, we deal with that, and it is frustrating and it is hard. And I definitely notice for my personal stuff that not as many people see it as what it used to be. So that's another reason why I decided to go to Twitter. That's actually, again, where I really probably should start posting on Threads and try that out. And that's with Facebook. I know it happens there too. And that's why I made a Facebook group. So there's different ways to like kind of get around it, but you're going to have to work a little bit harder. But on the flip side, it potentially could pay off.
All right. Any more tips that you want to throw our way, Brittney?
Just start doing it. And if you're nervous about making your first post, start with just a sale or start with just saying, hey, I can make a small commission. Post to your friends and your family. And I'm sure people are going to be like, okay, well, how do you do this? And we do have a referral where you can get 2.5% commission if you refer somebody. So that's another cool thing that we have. So you can start making money off of other people if you refer them.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Brittney. You are so amazing. Thank you for coming on, sharing your amazing insights with us. Make sure to check her out on Instagram, Brit_Jill_. And if you have any questions that weren't answered here, you can go ahead and email creatorsupport@rockporch.com, or you can email me personally, ERAU@rockporch.com, if you want to be the next interviewee or part of our creator webinar series. We will be sending out a recorded version of this webinar, so stay tuned to your inboxes. Thanks for your time today, and we will see you at the next webinar.
Thank you.